Okay. Good morning, all participants, and welcome back to today's second session of online training course for Appendix 2 aspirants. Today's topic is workshop accounts, and to take up the session, we have Shri Raghava Rao, retired senior AFA, Southern Railway, presently working as consultant faculty in IRIFM. Welcome, sir, and it's over to you to come on the session.
Thank you, Benher. Thank you very much for this opportunity. So, friends, मेरे पास है 10 टॉपिक है. I have 10 topics with me. These are all the stock questions in our examinations. मैं थोड़ा हैदराबादी हिंदी से बात करके झुली मिली मैं ये सेशन आगे ले जाऊंगा. एक पहले टॉपिक है, टॉपिक 1 is WMS account. What is a WMS account? Workshop manufacturing. एक stock question आता है इसमें कभी examination में. Every examination will have a stock question. It may be a 10-mark question or maybe a 5-mark, 5 marks question also. In this session मैं आपको ये इंग्लिश में बता रहा हूँ. आप हिंदी में मेरे पास तर्जुमा नहीं है, बट लेकिन मैं पूछूंगा हिंदी में थोड़ा. लेकिन at the end of the session, I have given you multiple choice questions with the answers highlighted in red ink. So you can refer those multiple choice questions, one-word answer questions also. You can take that. So in the first topic, हमारा पहला topic है workshop manufacturing suspense account. Workshop manufacturing suspense account is a capital suspense account. And I say capital suspense account, it has certain properties for the workshop manufacturing suspense account. That is, it has to be sourced from a fund. When I say plan head, a plan head. Now today, after a merger of the railway budget into general budget, we have only one demand number. Now railways demand is 85 this year. Every year this will get changed, but anyway, this year it is 85. Under this 85, we have capital segment of expenditure. Our capital segment of expenditure, there is no change in the structure of accounts of Indian Railways. We have earlier demands for grants as sub-major heads. Our naya name is sub-major heads. So under these plan heads, we have, that is under the earlier demand number 16, that is capital segment of the expenditure. Now it is under capital segment of the demand number 85. WMS account is under one plan head. So plan heads we have 7100, 7200 and 7300. We will call them as inventories in Indian Railways. We call them as inventories. That is stock inventories in Indian Railways, because these suspense accounts are continuous, perennial. They will be there forever, because every time we will be having a closing balance होगा. हर साल इसका closing balance होगा. इसका closing balance में the value of the components, material or whichever work in progress will be carried forward to the next year. That's why it is a capital suspense account. It will never
Sir, please unmute, sir.
yeah.
And please share PPT also again.
Okay, there is a problem here. Yeah, that problem is there. Yeah, I think I can see. I think I'm audible. So workshop manufacturing suspense account is a capital suspense account. and used only in general railway workshops, production units, and not used in any open lane units. So when it is a suspense account, it will have opening balance and also closing balance at the end of the year. So it has debits, opening balance plus debits minus credits is the closing balance for any. It is just like a manufacturing suspense account. It is a manufacturing suspense account. So what is the purpose of this manufacturing suspense account? It is a tool, an accounting tool for all of us. हमारा accounts department का job क्या है? So analysis करने के लिए, internal check करने के लिए, internal control करने के लिए, controlling the expenditure, checking the expenditure, internal check, and for the purpose of cost control and cost reduction. दोनों चीजों में WMS account enables cost control, cost reduction of expenditure in a workshop or a production unit, in a workshop or a production unit. So what by doing so, what is the output here? By using this account, we can also have unit cost of activities. In a workshop, normally in a repair workshop, हमारा activities क्या हो सकता है? Periodical overhaul, corrosion repairs, special repairs, manufacturing of a component. In the case of production unit, manufacturing or assembling a locomotive or assembling a carriage or assembling a wagon, manufacturing of a wagon, manufacturing of a wheel and axle, or manufacturing of a wheel. Like that, anything is a major spare, we can call them as. That's why we use this workshop manufacturing suspense account, which enables the expenditure control as well as cost control and cost reduction in the activities of workshops as well as the production units. It also helps us to give the unit cost of expenditure, unit cost of each activity. हमारा WMS से क्या मिल सकता है हमको? एक unit cost of each activity भी हम देख सकते हैं, ले सकते हैं. So for analysis purpose क्यों करते हैं unit cost? For the purpose of comparison, for the purpose of cost comparison. Comparison among the workshops of a zonal railway, comparison of cost among the various zonal railway workshops, also from the market also in case some items are. So workshop manufacturing suspense account, a capital suspense account, P and the plan head 7200. We have various workshops can be identified under detailed sub-head-wise. We can have 7212 mechanical, 7213 press, 7214 engineering workshop, 7215 signal and telecommunication or plant and workshops, anything, 7216 electrical workshop, like that, 7217 component workshops of mechanical units. Like that, we can have various numbers can be given for the purpose of our collecting the expenditure broadly into all the activities of the workshop of a zonal railway, workshop of entire expenditure of a workshop of a zonal railway, and we take them as debit side of the account. What we will do, the total expenditure incurred in a workshop or a production unit, हम कैसे कहाँ लेते हैं? Debit side of the WMS account we will take it. When we make the payment, I will give you a small example. So what are the debit side of the WMS account? When payment has been made. So yeah, checks and bills is credited, WMS account is debited. All the artisan staff are paid, and the which account is debited? WMS account is debited. Similarly, when the material is drawn, from a stock depot, sometime. So what is the material? Any material for the various activities. When we draw the material, when we draw the paint, when we draw the wagon body, or when we draw the coach body, or when we draw a loco part for that loco POH. So that WMS account of that particular activity is debited with labor, and material cost is debited with the material component. So WMS account is debited with payments made to the staff and material drawn to the shop floor activities and purchases, any kind of miscellaneous purchase. कैसा करते हैं हम purchases workshop में? थोड़ा purchase हम direct purchases में भी कर सकते हैं. इसका what is the mechanism to purchase the items through non-stock Indians? Non-stock Indians बोलता है ना, हर executive department का powers होता है non-stock purchase करने के लिए. उनका what is the limit of the purchase of that particular executive authority? His budget grant available to him for his activities, which is assessed in advance, will become the direct purchase grant. Even for this particular executive, whoever holding the workshop, he can purchase items directly from the market. When he purchases material from the market, there is a medium known as non-stock indent. Through this non-stock indent, whenever they make purchases, the non-stock items, stock items are continuous items. What is the difference between the stock item and a non-stock item? When we club the demands of all the workshops or the depots and make a bulk item and buy the items bulk and stock them continuously for their activities, that is known as bulk stock item. This is for the availing the advantage of bulk purchase. हमको भारी discount मिलता है. Whereas in direct purchase means this is only for a few items which are not in urgency in nature, but however they are also important. They cannot be stocked. If you stock them, it will be ज़्यादा खर्चा होता है. इसीलिए हम through non-stock we will be purchasing those items, taking those items for our activities. So like that. So direct purchases of materials means through purchases of material within his powers of executive powers, he is making for that year. So that is another debit to WMS account. There are certain items such as electricity, water, like many miscellaneous charges. Miscellaneous charges are also debit side of the WMS account. Broadly, debit side of the WMS account are wages paid to artisan staff, material drawn from stock, direct purchase of materials required for the activities based on the urgency and the requirement is another debit, and other expenditure like carriage inwards, fuel, electricity, water, any such thing will also form as a debit to WMS account. So WMS account is promptly debited with these four activities. What are the credits to WMS account? That means clearances from this account, because when we say WMS account, so clearances must be there. So items are, what are the items that are cleared? Works have been completed physically. Physically works have been completed for which financial adjustments have to be made, because WMS account is a suspense account. इससे निकालना है. पहले हम एक्सपेंडिचर इससे निकाल के हर महीने निकाल के फाइनल हेड्स को बुक करना है. इसके लिए व्हाट इज द मैकेनिज्म? देयर इज ए वर्क ऑर्डर. अगेंस्ट दिस वर्क ऑर्डर means expenditure incurred against the certain works which are in capital nature or replacement items which are in capital nature, which can be chargeable to source funds. क्या हो सकता है? Capital, DRF and DF. Capital, DRF and DF. Normally these are the source funds generally. So when the item is prepared, when there is a work order which is completed or which funds are available in that particular work, that particular work is debited. That is against that sanctioned estimate, the sanctioned grant available against that work, and workshop manufacturing suspense account is credited. But first credit कैसा है? The works completed on account of capital nature, maybe under DRF account. Source funds capital हो सकता है, DRF हो सकता है, DF हो सकता है, but पूरा they are all only capital in nature. So for that means not a revenue nature works. It is a major work, major nature, which can be replacement of a component and an asset. So for that account is debited. Workshop manufacturing suspense account is credited. ऐसा कैसा clear करना? Based on the progress of the works or on completion of the works also, this can be cleared. Similarly, there is another work. What is that work? When we manufacture certain components, हमारे workshop में we will not there may not be components available in the market for the use of Indian Railways rolling stock. So क्या करना है, खुद हम manufacture करना है हमारा workshops में. So such kind of works, such kind of components which are manufactured are issued by the requisitions are issued by stores department for the purpose of stocking. So for the purpose of stocking, that means whatever the items manufactured in workshop for the purpose of stocking with the stock depots will become another credit item on the WMS account. So based on the completion of the work for the for the component manufactured and sent for stocking, that means in that case, stores in stock account is debited, workshop manufacturing suspense account is credited. So that means credit side of the WMS account, what is happening? On completed works, transactions are given for clearance the suspense account and giving it to the final heads. So what we are doing in the credit side of the WMS account for the works done for that month, for which final accounts have to be debited, and this suspense account has to be credited, that is cleared. So that is another account. So in that case, in the case of manufacturing of components which are going to be stocked, what is to be done? Stores in stock account is debited, workshop manufacturing suspense account is credited. Similarly, in a zonal railway workshops, समझो carriage, समझो wagon. So इसका expenditure which demand में होता है? Demand number 6 में होता है. अभी नया सब मेजर हटा गया, but लेकिन it is a revenue expenditure. So POH का, corrosion repair का, special repair का, POH means periodical overhaul, CR means corrosion repairs, SR means special repairs. These are the activities done in a workshop. हर एक्टिविटी का एक एलोकेशन होता है, हर एक्टिविटी का एक एलोकेशन होता है. रिपेयर्स एंड मेंटेनेंस ऑफ ए पैसेंजर कोचिंग व्हीकल्स, डिमांड नंबर 6D 230, वो है एलोकेशन. सो एलोकेशन में फंड होता है हर साल का. सो ऑन कंप्लीशन ऑफ वर्क फॉर दैट मंथ फॉर द नंबर ऑफ कोचेस, to that extent demand number 6D is credited, workshop manufacturing suspense account is credited. हर महीने ये जरूरी है. For the works completed in a workshop, final accounts have to be debited and WMS account has to be cleared, that is credited. So every month, in the case of revenue expenditure, WMS account will take clearance, credit to the extent where a corresponding debit is available in the revenue expenditure, for which separately funds are made or funds are provided by the zonal railways. So another item is, in the case of some of the works in zonal railway workshops, some works are undertaken for the purpose of other government bodies, private bodies, corporates, for example, alumina company or some kind of national thermal power corporation for their own rolling stock, wagon stock, some other government department, defense departments. For that, what we will do, we will also undertake their maintenance work, their rolling stock maintenance also we will do in our workshops. For that purpose, we will collect money in the deposit account in advance. In advance, we will collect the money and keep it in the deposit account, and then we will debit the deposit account and clear the WMS account. Debit the deposit account and clear the WMS account. क्या चीज आ गया अभी तक? What are the things happen? Debit to works and credit to WMS account, debit to stores in stock account, credit to WMS account, debit to revenue account and credit to WMS account, and debit to deposit account and credit to WMS account. ऐसा चारों important items का हर महीने based on the completed works, workshop manufacturing suspense account clear होना ही पड़ेगा. इसका जवाबदारी कौन है? हमारा workshop accounts officer. Workshop accounts officer is responsible for clearing the workshop manufacturing suspense account. इसका review भी होना चाहिए हर महीने. इसका review का results भी हम FANCO को put up करना है. So क्या क्या होता है? Closing balance, when it is opening balance, and when it is to be cleared. So in the opening balance plus debits minus credits is the closing balance. So closing balance में क्या क्या होता है? This is important. इसका क्वेश्चन भी है. WMS closing balance indicate work orders which are in progress and for completed ones for which credit is awaited. Sometimes क्या होता है? Though work has been completed to some extent there may be some outstanding position, इसका वो closing balance में होता है. There may be some unaccepted debits for the work done to other railways, other bodies, or other divisions for which funds are not made available to the. In that case also, the amount lies in the closing balance. And also, there is again works in progress. Always, WMS account may always, what should be the closing balance of WMS account? It is always works in progress. So what is to be done? It is only a work in progress. So fourth one, there may be some unadjusted items. Under bar overcharges bolte hai normally, because when we make on cost percentages, they have done on predetermined percentages, but actually the actual expenditure may be more than the charge which is given to the finance. Accordingly, थोड़ा under charge भी हो सकता है, ज़्यादा भी हो सकता है और charges पे. So the closing balance of WMS account reflect ये चारों चीज है. This is important. Please remember all of you. सब लोग पढ़ना है. These are the important slides. Work orders which are in progress for complete ones for which the credit is awaited. Unaccepted debits for the works carried out by the divisions, other railways for various reasons हो सकता है. Work in progress, हर महीने work in progress होता है. And unadjusted under bar over charges, awaiting adjustments for want of funds and other reasons. These are the normally the closing balance of WMS account represents these things. What is the closing balance of WMS account represents? You have to write these four. Please read these things. So as a normal rule, if you have WMS account, normally the closing balance of WMS account should be kept at 3% of the gross credits. 3% of the gross credits. Gross credits were the total credit side, total work done, up 3%. And in the case of manufacturing units, in the case of manufacturing, thoda zyada relaxation hai. It is 6% of the gross credits in the case of manufacturing works, like production units or component shops. Is only to reflect true work in progress. The only purpose of this is to true work in progress. As such, har mahine, this is the responsibility of the accounts officer to review the WMS account and put up the results. What are the reasons for non-clearing the WMS account in case of the completed works? That is bus. That is enough for you. Okay. I think if you read these things, this is what is known as WMS account, workshop manufacturing suspense account. This is enough for this examination. Okay. Please, all of you refer once. Then I will go to the second topic. This topic is what is the manpower planning and control? What is this? This is a small question asked in workshops. So there is an incentive scheme in Indian Railways, General Railway workshops. In General Railway workshops and production units, artisans, the workers of these workers in these production units and General Railway workshops are classified into three categories. Direct workers, they are known as skilled, semi-skilled, highly skilled,
Sir, please unmute, sir. Raghava Rao, sir, please unmute. Yeah, now it is okay.
Indian Railways, we have two incentive schemes. In Indian Railways, we have two incentive schemes. The incentive schemes, individual based incentive scheme is known as CLW pattern. Whereas there is another group incentive scheme. There is another group incentive scheme is known as rights pattern. So for the purpose of CLW incentive scheme, the artisan staff, artisans normally highly skilled, skilled, semi-skilled, artisan and unskilled also. So these are the categorization of the staff in all railway workshops and production units, irrespective of the incentive scheme. But however, for the purpose of CLW pattern, Chittaranjan locomotive works pattern, that workers are classified into direct workers, indirect workers, and essentially indirect workers. This is the purpose of CLW pattern incentive scheme. Okay. So direct workers are eligible for incentive. Indirect workers are not eligible for incentive. And essentially indirect workers are also eligible for incentive, but based on the some percentage of the direct workers contribution. So that is what the incentive scheme CLW pattern gives us the guidelines. So in CLW pattern, workers are classified into three categories: direct workers, indirect workers, and essentially indirect workers. Whereas direct workers is they get incentive, indirect workers they don't get indirect incentive keys because they are the support staff. Essentially indirect workers are also eligible for incentive, but with some kind of a average of the direct workers contribution. Normally, how this incentive is paid, it is based on the individual's performance or individual or group performance of the individual employee's performance. Also because his output should be increased, giving the matching facilities. The employee output को बढ़ाना है, इसके लिए incentive scheme है. इसके for this purpose, for increasing the productivity, क्या किया है हमारा railway workshops on production units में, the allowed times are fixed. Allowed times are fixed. Time is the yardstick for measuring the productivity. क्या है हमारा time is the yardstick for measuring the productivity. और एक बार बताऊंगा मैं, for the purpose of productivity in workshops, for the purpose of incentive payment, allowed times are fixed, and time is the yardstick for measuring the productivity. And in which case, time saved by the employees of the allowed time taken, time saved will form as a incentive payment to the employee, because इसका time saving में ज़्यादा output मिलता है administration का, इसीलिए time saved is a incentive for the employee, whereas time saved in which case additional output which is a employer's business. Means in this incentive scheme, both the employer and the employee, railways and employees are gained. Railways are gained by additional output, whereas employees are gained by additional money, additional incentive बोलता है. That is the important. So how they will collect the incentive, what is the record? There is a job card, that is known as a job card. A job card wherein employee's name, all the details are written. Allowed time for that work, allowed time to make a cleaning of a wheel or a cleaning of a engine. So allowed times are fixed. So how much time he has taken, that is recorded in the job card. How much time he has saved by doing so. That means remaining time he will be given with other work. So additional work he will be given. So more number of engines cleaning he will do. So like that. So allowed times are fixed in such a way that normally any average person can earn incentive. That is the purpose of this incentive scheme. मैं आपको थोड़ा इसका रेगुलेशन के बारे में थोड़ा जांच कर दिया है इसमें. So for this purpose, all the activities in the workshop defined under various allowed times. That means cleaning of a wheel, or turning of a wheel, or cleaning of a coach, or mounting the water tank in a coach, or fitting the ball bearing or anything, इसका spring का, bogie का, wheel का, कोई हो सकता है काम. So हर activity गिन के इसका allowed term बन गया. Allowed terms में how much time he can save by doing it, and how much time he can save for the purpose of doing additional outer is measured. That is the objective of the incentive scheme. So that means in a समझो इतना अच्छा बनाया allowed times so that any person with little interest with the matching facilities can save time and earn additional incentive in this model. मैं एक थोड़ा allowed time का एक फार्मूला बता रहा हूँ. Allowed, if समझो 90 units is the allowed time, so 60 units the employee has taken, so he saves 30 units of time. That means 30 units of incentive he will get. That means it is such a way time saved is restricted to 50% of the time taken. एक checks and balances के लिए थोड़ा quality maintain करने के लिए standardization के लिए ये rule बनाया. इसके लिए so in case the employee wants to save more time, it is not possible. He should do the work in a systematic way, in a standardized way, and without wasting the other matching facilities, and we show in a stream, in a flow of work. As such, the time saved by each employee is restricted to 50% of the time taken. In case if he does more than that, he will lose the incentive. ऐसा system बनाया. That is known as CLW pattern incentive. How you will calculate and what is the basic record for taking the incentive? Job card. Job card is the basic record for the making the incentive payment, and all the job cards will come to accounts office. Our bill passing समय में internal check होता है. Internal check के बाद incentive bill बन जाता है. Incentive bill हमारा salary bill में add हो जाता है. That is the having the incentive model. Whereas in the case of rights model, आप देख लो एक बार. वहाँ incentive CLW pattern में incentive है workers बिना, on the basis of workers. Here the categorization is based on the shops. Here the shops are classified. There the workers are classified into 3. Here the shops are categorized into 3. Direct shops बोलते हैं, activity shops, support shops, and support departments. Support shops, support departments. Direct shop means direct activity. कहाँ होता है? So wheel shop is a direct activity. Paint shop is an activity. Whereas support shop means smithy shop is a support shop, which will provide the facilities, tools shop, tools and material, tools and smithy shop. Like that we have. So in this pattern, support department means accounts department, stores department, personal department. These are all support departments. So in the case of direct shops and support shops, the incentive here is also time is the yardstick for measuring. Here also time saved is the quantum of amount of incentive payable to the group of that workers. Time is the yardstick for measuring the productivity, even in this case also. In this incentive scheme, they will also see the physical outturn. Physical also outturn they will also see, and पूरा outturn निकालना है. हर workshop का पूरा targeted outturn कितना होता है, उसका मुताबिक the incentive का payment का checks and balance होते हैं. So that means in this pattern, in case of outturn is not coming at the end of the month, additional outturn is not coming, so no incentive. But whereas in CLW pattern, even in there is no total outturn, but if some shop does the job, उनको incentive मिल जाता है. So but लेकिन दोनों are important. Both the incentive schemes are available in the Indian Railways, and both are good systems only. Right system is also a good system, CLW pattern system, because पुराना लेबर ओरिएंटेड शॉप्स में CLW पैटर्न चल रहा है. हमारा नया वर्कशॉप्स में मॉडर्नाइजेशन मशीन्स आया, इसमें राइट्स मॉडल चल रहा है, बट बोथ आर गुड सिस्टम्स ओनली. बट हियर इन दिस केस व्हाट इज द इंसेंटिव डॉक्यूमेंट फॉर ड्रॉल ऑफ, इसमें ग्रुप कार्ड बोलता है. जॉब कार्ड जैसा है, इट इज सिमिलर टू जॉब कार्ड, इज आल्सो ए जॉब कार्ड. सो ग्रुप कार्ड इज द डॉक्यूमेंट फॉर रिकॉर्डिंग द इंसेंटिव स्कीम. मैं आपको थोड़ा ये सब बताऊंगा कंपैरिजन बिटवीन राइट्स मॉडल एंड CLW मॉडल. In the CLW model, workers are classified into 3 categories: direct workers, indirect workers, and essential workers. In the rights model, CLW model, individual incentive model, individual employee incentive model. Rights model, group incentive model. So in this rights model, shops are categorized into production shops, support shops, and support departments. Okay. In the case of CLW model, all direct workers get 100% incentive. Essentially, indirect workers, EIW bole to, essentially indirect workers get 80% of the direct workers. 80% of the direct workers. Indirect workers को कुछ नहीं मिलेगा, इंसेंटिव नहीं है इसमें स्कीम में. बट लेकिन इन ग्रुप मॉडल में प्रोडक्शन शॉप्स गेट, दैट इज एक्टिविटी शॉप्स गेट 100% of their bonus, their time set, and support shops get only 80% of the production shops. There is a restriction. So support shops get 80% of the production shops. But however, support departments में भी हम support departments, even the information technology staff है, उन लोगों को भी इंसेंटिव मिल सकता है ग्रुप इंसेंटिव में. Support departments get 50% of the average incentive of production shops. So it is like that. So even in the support departments, there is a incentive payment if it is linked to the outturn of that particular shop. That is the advantage of rights model for the employees. Whereas SCs, section engineers, senior section engineers, also in shops get 15% of the incentive bonus on their basic pay. Here also in the rights model also same, but however subject to earning. If their earning is 100% is there in production shops only, they get. But whereas in CLW, it is not linked like that. So in rights model, getting 15% incentive bonus for SCs and SCCs is based on the earning of the production shops. Please remember. So there is a restriction here, SCs sabon ko. So penalty for reduction incentive for quality factor of outturn shops. If there is a penalty, if there is a defect in the output in the rights model, again there are reduction in the incentive. Here, the penalty for reduction include quality factor. Yes, not only quality factor, but also if you detain the rolling stock in excess of the average period, in excess of detention of rolling stocks, in excess of standard detention period, allowed time, standard allowed period, allowed average detention of that particular stock. So there again, there is a reduction. For if you detain the rolling stock more than the permissible period, again penalty to the SCs. Then allowed times are fixed based on the nature of work. Allowed times are fixed based on the nature of work. That is how to clean a ball bearing, how to clean springs, how to fix like that. There is a allowed times based on the nature of work. And each activity based work hai. Like in here, allowed times are fixed based on the work content of type of stock. बोले तो हमारा कोचेस समझो, आजकल LHV कोचेस आ रहा है, ICF कोचेस का डिजाइन अलग है, RCF कोचेस का डिजाइन अलग है, LHV का डिजाइन अलग है. उसका माउंटिंग ऑफ वाटर टैंक इन ए कोच कामा डिफरेंट होता है. काम टाइम वर्क विल बी डिफरेंट फ्रॉम ईच टाइप ऑफ रोलिंग स्टॉक. इसीलिए even for the wagons, even for the coaches, locos also, so many types. So here the allowed times are fixed based on the work content of type of stock. ICF का अलग है, RCF का अलग है, LHB का अलग है. ऐसा in specific and also in production units, is in specific in production units. Similarly, irrespective of outturn targets in a shop, the individuals can earn incentive. In CLW model, if one shop is working, another shop not working, and there is no output at all, still that particular shop which has given the output can gain the incentive. But whereas it is not so in the rights model, because incentive earning is based on the physical dispatch of rolling stock of that particular journal railway workshop. So it should go out. So many numbers should be turned out. Outturn bolte. So So no bonus is payable for jobs not passed on in inspection of shops, whereas physical parameters reported by the user and, for example, her user, her coach, divisions में होता है coaching depots. They will, if they tell any defective within 6 months of the asset, that is 6 months of the rolling stock moving in the division. So if they find out, so again, that will qualify for both. There will be deductions for not doing the job according to the standards. So that is the main difference between the rights and CLW models. आपको मैं बताया, please, this is an examination question. और एक बार पढ़ना है. और आगे जाएंगे. Third topic का material, stock items, non-stock items. Stock items means our workshop material stock items. This is stock items of workshops, material items. So material part is, material is available for each workshop. A stores depot is provided for providing material continuously to the activities. For providing material continuously to the activities, हर वर्कशॉप का एक स्टोर्स डिपो दिया गया है. हर रेलवे में आप देख सकते हैं. So continuous draw of material happens for the stock items made available in the stores depot attached to each workshop. हर workshop का एक stores depot attach होता है. So how they will draw the material? They will purchase in bulk and keep them stocked in the stores depot, and they draw the material based on a form known as S13, Stores Requisition Commission. इसका नाम है Stores Requisition. Because please remember, for a counter of items, हमारा को एक voucher चाहिए for checking के purpose. A voucher, हर S13 is a voucher for us for the internal check, because all the S13 are summarized into stores monthly summaries, based on which all these SMS are forwarded to the accounts department for internal checkers. So it is an important document. S13 is also a subject to verification, subject to internal check by accounts department for the material drawn by the workshops from the stores depots. So when material is issued, a receipt note होता है. When material is issued from the depot, an issue note होता है. So that is how, when material is issued to the shop floor, workshop manufacturing suspense account is debited, stores suspense account is credited. Similarly, material purchased from market directly, workshop manufacturing suspense account is debited, checks and bills is credited. So material purchased to non-stock indents are dealt under direct purchase. So कैसा करता है, cost ऐसा करना है बोले तो, to fix the AAC, it is important that for all the stock item, average annual consumption fix करना है हर साल. So इसका accounts rating भी होता है. हर stock item का एक price ledger number भी दिया जाता है. So एक price ledger number भी given. So there will be average annual consumption. AAC is fixed for all the stock items, and there will be stock on hand. Every time we will have stock on hand position. So accordingly, material is drawn. So when we draw the material, we will give it to the funnel head and create to the stores and stock account whenever we draw the material. For the purpose of purchase of these items, because if you don't fix the AAC correctly based on the hence the AAC not only holding of the workshops, also frequency of change. कब change होता है. Then shelf life of the item. For example, paint का shelf life होता है. beyond 6 months, if you procure, the paint will get clouded. So like that, shelf life के बारे में, shop floor consumption pattern के बारे में, what is a must change item, if it has to be changed every month, or it has to be changed every 6 months, or every POH time, like that we will be deciding. We'll be deciding for the item of consumption. So these are all the, and also some items when we do the activity or release भी होता है, वो भी उपयोग होता है. They will be again reused, reclaimable items, reusable items, reclaimable items. For that we have to take into account. So these are all the items we will be taking. And processing of stock items, ANEs बोलते हैं, ANEs, annual estimates. Annual estimates में we will be taking the requirement of AAC, getting the annual estimates for the purpose of quantity only. ANEs में quantity होता है, and इसे मुताबिक with the book average rate, total amount to be purchased by the purchase officer also will be decided upon. So quantity to be simply bare minimum requirement of the activity, and total amount required for the purpose of the workshops. Normally it is reflected in the general purchases of the store's budget. General purchase of the store's budget. That is the importance. That is the item verified in the case of stock items. Stock indents case indent hota hai. Similarly, non-stock items also. In the case of weighting of non-stock indents, stock indents, AAC weight hona, non-stock indents, control the weighting of non-stock indents based on the availability of the funds. कहाँ होता है इसका? Capital plan heads में primary unit 04, whereas revenue primary unit का 28 होता है. So this is based on the fund available against this primary unit. Revenue demands are for the plan heads, that is primary unit is 04, against the grant available. We will maintain a liability register. What is the purpose of liability register? It is to record the processing of non-stock indents and regulating the procurement of the direct purchases based on the availability of the fund, based on the availability of the budget grant against that primary unit. This is the purpose. So non-stock indents are all subject to vetting by accounts officer. Indents are vetted by accounts. So that means you will verify. Vetting means verification. Concurrence means agreeing to that. So both are different. Please remember. So here in this vetting the accounts, it will vet the accounts based on the fund available, check the correctness of the item, and accordingly will clear the stock items. So all non-stock items normally are vetted and processed for purchase for the current operating period. Operating period बोलते हैं that financial year. हर साल का हर financial year का मुताबिक the non-stock indents are processed. That is the item. That is the little bit about the stock items, non-stock items, stock items, purchase of stock items and non-stock items, and check of stock indents, check of non-stock indents. That is the various areas. So next there is another topic known as work order system. What is a work order system? The jobs undertaken in a workshop is based on a work order. What is a work order? Work order is an authority to commence work in a workshop. Who issues this work order? Production control organization of a zonal railway workshop is issuing the work orders. Work order means against each activity. Periodical overhauling of a passenger coaching vehicle is an activity. इसका एक work order दिया जाता है. Corrosion repair एक work order दिया जाता है. Special repair एक work order दिया जाता है. Manufacturing of a spring work order. Like that, her activity, identifiable activity against each in the workshop with each allocation, which financially it can be linked to allocation also. Or allocation be important. So that a work order is issued. Who issues the work order? It is the production control organization, PCO, of a zonal railway workshop. So where this PCO lies, it is under the control of chief workshop manager of a zonal railway maintenance workshop. Normally, before issuing the work order, what is seen normally, whether the workshop has that capacity to the work. उनका है वो ताकत है करने के लिए है, facility है, matching facilities are there, matching material is available, matching skilled labor are available. All those things are seen before issuing a work order to take up the work in that workshop. Of course, अभी हो गया, अभी आउटसोर्सिंग भी हो रहा है, इसीलिए हम ज्यादा भी वर्क से ले सकते हैं. So that is the importance of a work order. So what is the role of the accounts office, of workshop accounts office, work order? Whenever a work order is issued, it should be with the authority, it should be countersigned by an accounts officer. What is the purpose of countersigning the work order? It is to see that there is a fund existing. Activities is a permitted activity. There is a fund existing against that work. So like that, so work order system enables us to see that each activity wise expenditure is recorded. Each activity wise recorded. अब और एक बार वर्क ऑर्डर के बारे में डेफिनेशन देख लो जी. वर्क ऑर्डर is an authority to commence work in a workshop. So commence करने के लिए वर्कशॉप में और प्रोडक्शन यूनिट में ये वर्क ऑर्डर का जरूरी है. It is issued by PCO. No work is undertaken without assigning a number. So हर वर्क ऑर्डर का, हर एक्टिविटी का एक नंबर दिया जाता है. PCO का जिम्मेदारी है, and it is an authority to commence work in a workshop. So all activities are identified with a work order. So इसका वर्क ऑर्डर में क्या क्या चीज होता है बोले तो, कास्ट ऑफ मटेरियल्स, मटेरियल कितना खर्चा हुआ, कास्ट ऑफ वेजेस लेबर कास्ट कितना हुआ, अगर ऑन कास्ट कितना हुआ. सो वर्क ऑर्डर में एक्सपेंडिचर कैसा गिन सकते हैं? लेबर कास्ट, मटेरियल कास्ट एंड ऑन कास्ट. ऑन कास्ट में क्या चीज है? ऑन कास्ट, लेबर ऑन कास्ट, मटेरियल ऑन कास्ट. मीन्स लेबर ऑन कास्ट, मटेरियल ऑन कास्ट, हर शॉप का गिन सकते हैं वर्क ऑर्डर्स में. सो इसीलिए ये वर्क ऑर्डर्स आर इश्यूड बाय प्रोडक्शन कंट्रोल ऑर्गेनाइजेशन विद द काउंटर सिग्नेचर ऑफ द अकाउंट्स ऑफिसर बेस्ड ऑन द अवेलेबिलिटी ऑफ द फंड्स. एंड हर एक्टिविटी का वर्क ऑर्डर होता है. एंड वर्क ऑर्डर में लेबर, मटेरियल, ऑन कास्ट का समाचार मिलेगा हर महीने का. सो कंटिन्यूअसली वर्क ऑर्डर्स आर अवेलेबल फॉर द पर्पस ऑफ लोकेटिंग द एक्सपेंडिचर ऑन एलिमेंट वाइज कास्ट. सो ऑल द वर्क ऑर्डर्स हर महीने, इफ यू कलेक्ट देम फॉर द वर्क डन एंड पोस्टेड इन ए रजिस्टर, इज नोन एज वर्कशॉप जनरल रजिस्टर. सो वर्कशॉप जनरल रजिस्टर में क्या होता है? समरी ऑफ ऑल वर्क ऑर्डर्स, nothing but summary of all work orders. So in a workshop general register, a summary hota hai all work orders ka. That means if you see the workshop general register, opening balance of all the work orders, a महीने का material roll, a महीने का labor cost, a महीने का on cost, पूरा जानकारी इसके मिलेगा. So that means based on the completed works from the work order details available, we can put the amount into the final heads and clear the workshop manufacturing suspense account. So that means, so it's not so easy. This is very easy way to book the expenditure, booking to the final heads based on the actual outturn of the shops. So purpose of having work orders, having workshop general register, reviewing it and posting it to the final heads is the job of the workshop accounts officer. Workshop accounts officer का जवाबदारी है ये वर्कशॉप जर्नलिस्ट पोस्ट करने के लिए और WMS अकाउंट क्लियर करके फाइनल हेड्स को डेबिट देना है और WMS अकाउंट को क्रेडिट देना है. So that means every month based on the on-cost predetermined percentages what we have made, we will be booking the expenditure to the final heads based on the work order system available in a zonal railway workshops. लेकिन और थोड़ा जानकारी मिलेगा आपका एग्जामिनेशन पर्पस में. Work orders can be classified into direct work orders, indirect work orders, and job orders. Direct work orders are identified with the activity, so POH, direct activity, and are tend to close on completion of work. Once the work is completed, we will close the work order. Manufacturing का break block, पूरा batch complete हुआ, close कर ले, पूरा expenditure गिन के expenditure divided by the number of units is the unit cost. That is known as completion works. Some थोड़ा कम repair works थोड़ा periodically में complete होता है. So from for every month we will close the repair oriented work order. So this POH is a repair oriented activities का expenditure भी clear करना है. Indirect work orders are nothing but standing work orders. They are for the purpose of on cost booking expenditure. So they are all for the purpose of on cost. कितना actual expenditure is there for the purpose of on cost कितना हो रहा है. So we will collect that and against the previous month's labor we will make a percentage, and from that percentage we adopt here for charging to the jobs. Then job orders means wherever job costing system we wanted to have, wherever job costing system we wanted to have for the purpose of make or buy decisions, we will issue a job order separate. This is separate, whereas other work orders are generally work, but whereas job order is for a specific purpose. गिनने के लिए what is the actual cost. For example, I wanted to outsource this activity to outside. What rate I can outsource? So for that purpose, what I will do, I will put that activity on manufacturing of a brake block. I will give a job order. I will put a job costing system in that and see that what is the unit cost based on this process. How much is my unit cost while I'm making it for the workshops, and what would be my if I purchase from the market. So for making make or buy decisions, the job costing system we use it, and job orders we call them. So job order is also a work order, please remember. But however, wherever job costing system we wanted to introduce, in those places only we issue a work order known as job order. Job order is also a work order, please remember. So अब एक बार देख लो जी हमारा कैसा होता है. Work order number, date, work order register, and normally we maintain this work order register in mechanical department only, but however it is verified by us, it is sent to us for the purpose of review of work orders in the accounts office. That is the topic 4. And what is a workshop general register? That is generally it comes. WGR normally it is also now WGR being WAMS आया, workshop accounting management system आया. But लेकिन मैं definition बताऊंगा. What is a WGR? The compilation of expenditure booked in a workshop under various work orders in a summarized form is known as workshop general register. What is the definition of a WGR? The compilation of expenditure. The compilation of expenditure booked in a workshop under various work orders in a summarized form. Summary करना है पूरा मिला के summarize करना है. That is known as workshop general register. It is a monthly statement. Every month, हर महीने करना. कौन करना है? It is the responsibility of the workshop accounts office. Who will review? Again, WO has to review this workshop. What are the details available? Labor, incentive bonus, material, stores material, and overheads. So these details are available in the class. So now today this WGR is computerized everywhere. Everywhere the WGR is computerized under WAMS or even the हर workshop में हर production का हर अलग-अलग procedures से computerized हो गया. It is a basically computerized basic statement compiled from time sheets. Stores monthly summary. Labor कहाँ से आता है? Time sheets से. Material stores monthly summaries. Direct expenses incurred and allocated to the work orders. पूरा work order से debit होता है. So direct expenses. So what is क्यों कर रहा है बोले सर, it is as per the codal provision. Every month we have to prepare WGR, workshop general list. It is a duty of the accounts officer to see what is the purpose of WGR. For the purpose of review by accounts officer, to see whether any inefficiencies are there, limitations are there, कुछ expenditure नहीं book हो रहा, time waste हो रहा, inefficiencies, wastages हो रहा, so like for the purpose. So every month we have to prepare the WGR. When we will prepare, for example, March का WGR कब prepare करना? April में. Following month only we have to complete the by next month. WGR should be out by the next month. So based on the next month outcome, we have to clear it to the final. That is the purpose of WGR. आप एक बार देख लो जी वर्कशॉप जनरल रजिस्टर कैसा होता है. These are the entries in the workshop general register. Workshop general register, work order numbers, reference. So debit side, direct material, bonus, stores, total, direct man hours, labor, incentive, पूरा जानकारी इसमें मिलेगा, including the credits in case of any for any work orders where there are some credits. That is how. So flow chart भी मैं आपको शेयर कर रहा हूँ, बाद में आप एक बार देख लो. प्रोसेस होता है और लेबर से मटेरियल आता है, लेबर से टाइम शीट से लेबर आता है, then होता है from process to then we clear it to the final heads. Based on the WGR, there will be an outturn statement part. There will be WGR will form another topic, and based on the WGR, an outturn register is prepared. An outturn state register, workshop outturn register. This is posted from the WGR every month and correlated with the physical outturn. So from this outturn register, we prepare outturn statements. This is also two parts. So from outturn register, we prepare outturn statements. Same, both are same only. आजकल एक hybrid बन गया. Outturn register, outturn statements, both are same. So part one is outturn statement, outturn register statement. Otherwise statement. ये statement निकाल सकते कंप्यूटर से, है ना? So outturn is for representing the works completed and the financial statements have been made, completed in the month, and there is no outstanding. So for part one represents entire expenditure pertaining to that month, representing the physical outturn, clear to finance. So WMS account से clear करके final head को देना है. इसका basis document है workshop general outturn statement. Outturn statement का basic record है WGR. WGR कैसा बनता है? Work order से summary से. So for work order से WGR बनता है, WGR से outturn register बनता है, outturn register से outturn statement होता है. So outturn statement part one is nothing but clearing the WMS account and putting the expenditure to the final heads. Where are these final heads? In the case of revenue demands, आप देख सकते हैं. Demand number 5, repairs and maintenance of low cost. Demand number 6, repairs and maintenance of carriages and wagons. And demand number 7, repairs and maintenance of plant and equipment. So for which JVs are prepared and cleared in the same month. The same month will be clearing. But लेकिन और एक part है outturn list में, outturn statement में, that is part 2. Part 2 means outstanding, nothing but outstanding. That is part 2 is nothing but closing balance of that month, closing balance of all work orders, summarized in the
Hello, sir. Please check your audio. Sir, please unmute, sir. Yeah.
So it is the responsibility of the accounts officer to see every month that part 1 is posted, part 2 is also posted, and review the part 1 review the part 2 for the purpose of outstanding amounts beyond permissible limits. In such kind of review, any item is outstanding for want of funds, for want of acceptance, for want of sanction, which is very serious irregularity, because unless until there is a sanction, no work should be commenced in a workshop. That is about the workshop statement. मैं आपको बता रहा हूँ आउटर्न रजिस्टर के बारे में पार्ट 1 एंड पार्ट 2 का, और मैं एक भी दे सकते, एक पिक्टोरियल का डायग्राम है ये आपका अंडरस्टैंडिंग के लिए. दैट इज अबाउट द वर्कशॉप आउटर्न स्टेटमेंट एंड दीज थिंग्स. ओके, अगला टॉपिक में हम जाएंगे ऑन कास्ट. व्हाट आर ऑन कास्ट इन इंडियन रेलवेज? ऑन कास्ट आर नथिंग बट इनडायरेक्ट एक्सपेंडिचर. Indirect expenditure in general railway workshops or in the production units also are known as on cost. There are many on cost. Factory overheads, administrative overheads. In the case of production units, there is a township overheads also. Township, अगला township होता है उसका पूरा. That is what on costs are important. So normally, as per our procedure, and on costs are levied as a predetermined percentages for each work and charged to the final. Charged for each work and charged. And when you give it to the work order, and finally it goes to the final heads. So on costs are 3 kinds in Indian Railways. In the railway workshops, क्या है वो? Shop on cost, general on cost, and performance cost. In Indian railway workshops, the on costs are 3 kinds: shop on cost, general on cost, and performance cost. Means what is a shop on cost? Shop on cost means the indirect expenditure incurred in common to all works in a shop, a small shop. So I will show you the diagram here. This is a stripping shop. This is a component smithy shop, a bogie shop. The indirect expenditure incurred, and then a stripping shop, there are more 3-4 activities. So indirect expenditure incurred in common to this particular shop is known as shop on cost. Okay, the indirect expenditure incurred in common to all shops, stripping shop, component shop, bogie shop, wheel shop, bagging shop, all these shops are known as general on cost. The indirect expenditure incurred in common to all activities in a shop is known as shop on cost. The indirect expenditure incurred in common to all workshops, all shops in a workshop is known as general on cost. क्या हो सकता है जनरल ऑन कास्ट में? देयर इज एन एड लाइटिंग हियर. देयर इज एन आइटम व्हिच इज टेकिंग द वंस मूविंग द मटेरियल or moving the vehicle from here to here to here. So there is a traversal. इसका expenditure. Sanitation, cleanliness, and general lighting. So many items which are incurred to all shops in common is known as general on cost. So shop on cost and general on cost मिला के उनका नाम है works on cost. Don't get confused. What is a works on cost? Works on cost is having 2 parts. That is shop on cost and general on cost मिला के known as works on cost. So that means there is another model, proforma on cost. This is important. Proforma on cost is administrative charges. That means the items of charges which include proportionate expenditure on supervisory services, interest and depreciation charges, and pensionary equivalent of the artisan staff. These are all the charges we have not incurred in WMS, incurred through WMS account. They have done outside the WMS account. Samjho, there is a hospital serving the workshop fellows. So expenditure, proportionate expenditure of the hospital or proposed expenditure of the residential buildings various stays are not a charge to WMS account. So however, for the activity, but it is also cost of the job only, no? So that is known as proforma on cost. It means proportionate charge of headquarters offices, proportionate charge of workshop accounts office, proportionate charge of stores office, personal offices, like that. All the administrative costs are known as proforma on cost. So here, any on cost normally levied based on, they are predetermined. Har saal, we will fix these percentages in advance. We fix these percentages in advance, and levy these percentages for the ongoing activities in the ongoing months. So pro forma on cost is administrative charge, which include proportionate expenditure on supervisory services, interest and depreciation of the buildings, plant and machinery, so many, all the assets, interest and the associated assets, and personal equivalents of the artisan staff. So these are all the three types of on cost. So this is the examination question. Remember, on costs are three types: shop on cost, general on cost, pro forma. मैं आपको आगे जाऊंगा pro forma on cost का एक short notes भी आ सकता है इसके लिए. How this pro forma on cost, where it is shop on cost and general on cost is a must levy to all activities in workshop. It is a must levy. हर activity का ये on cost percentage लगाना है. But लेकिन pro forma on cost is not levied in all jobs of the Indian Railway workshops which are undertaken. But however, these are levied for the works done by the workshops for other government departments, private bodies. So it means private parties, private bodies, other government departments for which we have done the work. A pro forma on cost will become an additional percentage for the unit cost, and then we will collect that in addition to the normal cost. So that is known as pro forma on cost. And when we collect, that will go as earnings to railway. So whatever the amount as collected as pro forma on cost for the work done by the workshop to the other government departments, private bodies, is collected as Z earnings to a particular zonal railway. A हर workshop का important item है. We will collect these items, and normally we take up the works based on the deposit terms only. We collect the amount in advance and keep the amount in deposit account, and based on the percentage of pro forma cost levied, we will collect that amount and give it to the Z earnings as a credit to railways. That is a Z earning. Normally, for doing so, the pro forma cost very carefully we have to calculate. We have to do it in advance. One, for example, for levy of the next financial year. Samjo 1/4/2022 to 31/3/23. So for the works to be taken in that financial year, we have to complete the levy of percentages, calculation of percentage of pro forma cost now itself. Before December, we have to collect the actual expenses, proportionate expenditure of all these activities, and collect them, and against the direct wages of total wages of that workshop, we collect as a percentages, and we levy on based on the certain pro forma, and give it for approval of the general manager. And general manager gives the approval for levy of that percentage, and with the approval of that general manager, we will be levying them, and we will be collecting and creating to Z earnings. And the waiver of anything of this kind of work, for example, if they wanted to waive, it is not within the powers of the workshop accounts officer, or it is only with the approval of GM only, general manager shop only. He has to approve the waiver of pro forma cost. So pro forma cost is so important. So administration. What are the items of pro forma cost? आपको मैं बताया. Supervisory services, interest and depreciation charges, and pensional equivalents. Interest and supervisory services, interest and depreciation charges, and pensional equivalents. So in the case of wherever we are making some estimates on major works, in that case, without the element of supervision charges, even for the railway works, we can levy the pro forma cost. So this is the important about the pro forma cost. आपके exam के लिए a bus है. So who will fix the pro forma cost? GM साहब will fix the pro forma cost percentages हर महीने, हर साल का, and waiver of pro forma cost is within the powers of general manager साहब. So whatever is the amount collected towards pro forma cost will form as a Z earning to railways. That is about the on cost of the analysis. We will go to the costing system. Costing system, what is the small 5 marks question आ सकता है. job costing system. What is the purpose of costing system? It is to throw light on past experience and locate profits or losses on previous work, to act as a guide for future. मैं आपको मैं slide बता रहा हूँ, please read and this पूरा है. That is the short answer question. Costing system का आंसर यही है, आप लिखना है. To appreciate in what ways forward expenditure may be reduced, to check employees and prevent waste, to record particular item of work of operation expenditure on which is susceptible for cost control, to identify the variations in cost among the various workshops and also other railway workshops, other zonal railway workshops also. So to provide managerial information of the make or buy decisions and make and buy decisions. This is the objective of the costing system. In Indian Railways, we have a job costing system. Under job costing system, wherever we wanted to have job costing system for a particular component which is being manufactured, so we will have to have the matching facilities. Raw material should be made available. Standard drawings also should be made available. There will be a process sheet. Process sheet means a design document. There is a job card, wherein which standard allowed times and all those things are recorded. And there is a material tag. So a process sheet, job card, material tag, route card. These are all the standard documents, standard industrial documents for making a job costing system in a journal railway. मैं आपको शेयर कर रहा हूँ, मैं आप पढ़ना है. So इसमें what is the most important answer in sometimes job card, job card ऐसा दिखता है. So इसमें rate fixer का fixing होता है, allowed times, time allowed, time taken, time saved, time allowed, time taken, time saved, based on this number of days work, based on which the total time taken for that job is recorded. And also a time saved. Normally this job card is used for the job costing, and as well as the other purpose also where the incentive also can be paid. This is the standard format of a job card. आपको मैं दिखा रहा हूँ. Then now we will go to another topic known as rolling stock program. Rolling stock program is an investment decision for the purpose of acquiring a additional vehicles, additional equipment. Rolling stock program is drawn every year, हर साल, for the procurement of rolling stock. Rolling stock बोले तो क्या है? Locos, carriages, wagons and other department vehicles. This is an additional account and as well as replacement account. कब करना है? In advance, at least 3 years in advance we have to make. In the case of locos, 2 years advance. In the case of carriages and wagons, इतना है lead time procurement करने के इतना समय होता है. So who does this annual program of rolling stock? Chief Operations Manager, COPS बोलते हैं, Chief Operating Superintendent, no COM, Chief Operations Manager, COM बोलते हैं. And who will do that? PCM, Principal Chief Mechanical Engineer. Who will do that? Principal Chief Mechanical Engineer. He is the owner of the rolling stock. And this program has to be vetted by Associate Finance, FNCO. So GM's approval is obtained and sent to sanction of the Railway Board. So what is the purpose of rolling stock program? It is to cater the need of the rolling stock of railways, consisting of locos, wagons, coaches, cranes. ART बोले तो accident relief train. The provision of RSP is 2 ways. One is replacement account, and then is acquisition account, new items for new services. And replacement account is priority. So renewal of rolling stock means, and replacement of rolling stock is given priority over the additions. It is prepared before at least minimum 15 to 18 months before its commencement. That is within 2 years. So in case of देखना है, rolling stock population is vary from zone to zone based on the zonal system. जो ज़्यादा किलोमीटर होता है, ज़्यादा सर्विस होता है, वो रेलवे का रिक्वायरमेंट के मुताबिक बनाए. So normally there is an authorized stock. In case of withdrawal of lines, we have to reduce the rolling stock. In the case of additional lines, we have to increase the rolling stock. So the population of rolling stock is to be decided taking into the account. Some items we have to keep in the workshops for POH purpose. And some case, in the case of additional traffic required during the summer time, ज़्यादा trains run करना है, इसीलिए we have to have additional. So these is the important aspects while making the rolling stock program. Rolling stock program is nothing but an investment program like our works program. So along with a works program, हर zonal railway will prepare rolling stock program. So इसका investment का part है. Rolling stock program is also part of a investment decision. So that is the how मैं एक chart पुराना chart बता रहा हूँ. So who will prepare workshops and sets they require, and CMEs of consolidation type, PCOMs of operations of you will also supplement based on the required operations you will fix, and goes to FANC's finance concurrence, goes to GM approval, and goes to rolling stock board, and then it is reflected in the pink book and goes to parliament for voting, and then funds आ जाता है both items, rolling stock items, bulk items, non-bulk items, and accordingly indents are prepared. That is how rolling stock program is made. And similarly, rolling stock program budget and everything is budgetary control is done at not at zonal railway level. It is at the railway board themselves. The railway board itself will do the railway board will be doing. Whereas the M&P program, it is also done every year, but it is in the zonal railway purview. Every zonal railway will not only making the program, but funds, budget grant, and budgetary control is done by M&P. For M&P program, budget and budgetary control is done by zonal railways, whereas rolling stock program, budget and budgetary control is dealt centrally by railway board. So that is a difference. So M&P program is prepared for the ensuring in the current year. So immediately we will be preparing the estimate of M&P bear provision charges, because direction and general charges both right. Charges most are D and G charges. That means it is general railway budget. So estimates have these things. Whereas in rolling stock program, there is no D and G charges in RSP program. Whereas in M&P program, there is D and G charges. Please remember. So against these charges, we will have general railways can have temporary establishment. Okay. So now today there is as on date also today. COFMO is there, Central Organization for Modernization of Workshops. They will provide the standard design of rolling stock, LHB standard design, RDSO, COFMO. They will provide the standard model of machines, which kind of lathe machine has to be procured, which kind of hammer has to be procured, which kind of wheel turning machine has to be procured, the standardized ones. So M&P normally is procured through COFMO only. Now, if it is of decentralization, now zonal railways can also directly procure. Now, COFMO is slowly weeding out. So it is not there. So as of date, M&P program.
Hello? Sir, Raghava. Yeah. Sir, please check audio.
Yeah. Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Sir, PPT, please share.
Yeah. M&P items 1 lakh up to 1 lakh normally they have to revenue. Now their restrictions also come up. Some more amount of restrictions beyond 1 lakh also now. Please check that. But however, in the case of M&P, what is to be done? Some points I have written. In this case, there must be rate of return must be recorded. So in M&P, vehicles and staff car also to be provided. 2-wheelers, 4-wheelers, road vehicles are to be provided in the here. This need not be. Item which cannot be just financially, but are essential can be charged to development wherever sometimes. So there are financial limits I have given here, but these financial limits have changed now. Items costing above 50,000 lakhs may be included in the lump sum provision chargeable to LSMP programs. Is not here. That is not there. So like that, MNP program, in the MNP program, we have to provide vehicles and staff car also from the MNP program. And the road vehicles, lorries, staff cars, all items are to be provided in the trucks for the departmental use. So how it will be, I give you a chart. Proposals of workshops, sheds, depots vetted by associate finance will come to CME consolidation, GM's approval, and then before GM's approval, it takes a pension's concurrence, then goes to railway board, formulated in the pink book, gets department sanction, allocation of funds, procurement is done, indents are placed by the General Railways and COFMO now directly. Now General Railways can buy them directly, or till such time COFMO is being withdrawn, another 2 years, 3 years, as in the other part of reforms. So that will be withdrawn. So now that means what is the main difference between the RSP and MNP means budget and budgetary control of RSP is at board level, whereas budget and budgetary control is dealt by General Railways. In the case of MNP program, there are no D&D charges in RSP, there are D&D charges in MNP. So all vehicles, there must be a rate of return must be calculated. There must be a justification for the MNP item for the new acquisition, whereas the RSP, it is only a plan of business plan. So there is no such kind of rate of return is not necessary. But however, it is based on the plan of transportation plan for the additional traffic that can be generated for improving the. That is the major difference between the RSP and the MNP program. So please, friends, please read. There is another topic, workshop accounts management system. Now WAMS is coming, small guidelines. WAMS means application software. The application software AMS has been developed by Chris. There are 4 modules. In the इसमें WAMS में आपका थोड़ा short notes अगर 5 मार्क का क्वेश्चन आता है. So इसमें 4 मॉड्यूल है, WR मॉड्यूल, WMS मॉड्यूल, workshop costing module. So object the workshop accounts management to generate WMS account current. So most important thing is account current करना है, भेजना है. So the WMS is for the purpose of workshop accounting management system. It's a application software. What is WMS? Workshop accounts management system. इसमें 4 modules है. Incentive, WGR, WMS, and workshop costing modules. So WMS account, apart from WMS account current, WMS will be useful for work order wise expenditure analysis. क्या देख सकते हैं इससे? Work order wise expenditure analysis, WMS budget analysis, unit cost analysis, generation of workshop general list, generation of outturn JV for account currents. इतना आसानी से हम WMS से A निकाल सकते हैं. So it is an important module. So incentive module deals with incentive bonus payment and thing. WMS has been a standardized format, uniformly can be adopted by all workshops, general workshops, and it will generate uniform managerial reports across the railway. So हमारा AMS portal is accessible through internet using URL. So that is the incentive module, workshop journalist module, flow chart में तो बता रहा हूँ आपका. ये सब items आपको share कर रहा हूँ flow chart के लिए. So these are all the production units names. आगे मैं MCQs की आपको share कर रहा हूँ. These are all the MCQs for these workshops, multiple choice questions. मैं इसका आंसर रेड में हाईलाइट कर लिया रेडिंग से. आप पढ़ लो जी, इसके बेनिफिट उठाओ, पूरा है इसमें. So friends, with this I'll be closing my presentation and sharing these MCQs. ठीक है.
Participants, any raise, please raise hands, any queries? I'm uploading the PPT in the chat box.
MCQs आपको बहुत important है आपको.
They ask this MCQ answers also, sir.
मैं reading में बताया जी. Answers directly only.
Yeah, they want MCQ questions as well as answers also.
Answers में reading में बताया.
Okay, okay, sir.
You see the MCQ PPT, they are available as answers and questions are there. They are in the form of the reading format now. It is not a testing, but time is अभी नहीं है ना ज़्यादा. इसलिए मैं क्या किया? आपका पूरा answers भी बताया.
Participants, any queries, please raise your hand, or I will unmute all the participants. Yeah, you can speak yourself. Any queries, or you can message in the chat box. Sir, no more queries, sir. Call it a day, sir.
Yes.
Yeah. We have worked the IRIFM. I thank. Yeah, please tell me. Yeah, please ask your query. Yeah. Sir, queries. Yeah, behalf of IRIFM, I thank faculty Shri P. Raghava Rao for delivering this session on workshop accounts and clarifying the doubts. Thank you, sir. Participants, please join again the next second week and last week of this Appendix 2 webinar sessions. Started from again Monday next week. The same timings, the login time is 9:45. 2 sessions daily morning. Please have a nice day. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.